Welcome to Specific Love. This is the 25th edition of 10 Life Hacks with PVC. Let's begin. Many of you might recognize this as the Instapot. It's real popular nowadays, and there's a concern that some people say when you're releasing the pressure back here that this air and steam can get up on your cabinets and cause issues. Well, here's a great way to solve that. This is a piece of 1-inch PVC elbow that I've cut a little notch out of that fits right over the little handle that's sitting back here. And what you do is you carefully slide it over, making sure to get the best seal you can, and then you just give it a little bit of a twist. And that will allow the steam to come out in whatever direction that the elbow is pointed. And that way it should keep it from going up on your cabinets. But also keep in mind that you want to be careful doing this because there is a chance the steam might come out around the sides and still burn you. But that's a great little hack you can do with your Instapot. Now if you love the game of ping pong, I'm sure you have a table at home. In that case, you can make a nice little holder display for your paddles and your balls so that you can be out of the way but easy to find. Now, right here I'm using a 1.5-inch PVC. It is cut at a 45-degree angle at the top so I can easily get a screw in, and then I can also slide in the paddle. Now for the balls down here, I just did an 8-inch section. You can do this whatever size you would like, but then down here at the bottom I have an elbow. And to get the balls out, I just have a little nail. You pull up, and you can get as many balls out that you like. And then easy, you can put them right back into the top. This is a great little way that you can put up all your balls and paddles and yet keep them a nice little display. Now here's a great way to store all of your pliers and tools in your garage, whether you use pegboard or any kind of system, even just a piece of wood you can attach this to. This is actually quite simple. I took a piece of, this is 1 inch, the Schedule 20, the real thin stuff, and I cut it at a 45-degree angle. And then I just gauged it to whatever length I chose and made the back. I have 10 on the back. Now for the front I used a little bit different. This is actually 3/4 inch of the same thin walled Schedule 20, except I cut this at a 30-degree angle. Now that allows me to have the larger pliers in the back, smaller pliers up front, or any configuration that you want. The great thing about this, right now I have it just on some pegboard. I just drilled some holes to the top. You can drill 4 holes if you'd like. If you attach it to maybe some just your standard wood wall, or maybe do like a French cleat system or whatever you'd like. This should be easy to attach to. It's easy, you can move it around, take it off if you need to. To hold all the PVC together, I just used some standard PVC cement and it just glued it together, and that's what's holding it all together. You make this as long as you want, short as you want, and it's a great way just to store some of your tools. Anytime you're out using your shovel, whether you're trying to dig dirt or move gravel, any advantage you can have to give you that little extra oomph for using a shovel is a great idea. So, if you take, this is a 1-inch PVC tee, and if you can epoxy it or glue it or somehow attach it to the end of your shovel, now whenever you're using your shovel, you get that little extra push. And so if you're trying to move that gravel or dirt or whatever it is, that's a great way to upgrade your shovel. As you can see, I've been trying to do a little more organization in my garage. Well, right over here, I found a great way to hold my silicone tubes. Now this is just a piece of 2-inch PVC that I've cut at a 30-degree angle on the top and on the bottom. On the top I just have a hole with a drywall screw holding it to this 2x4, and on the bottom just a simple basic L bracket. Now once you take your PVC, you slide it into place, and then it holds it nice and tidy. Now this would be great for your garage, or if by chance you're a handyman or a plumber and you use some silicone. It's great if you take maybe a piece of wood, put it on the back of one of your doors, and attach one of these to your door, and that way you have your silicone nice and handy anytime you want it. If you do a lot of meal prepping, then of course you're going to have a lot of these plastic bags, and it can be a challenge sometimes just holding it by yourself and putting the food inside. Well, here's a little PVC holder for you. Put your bag on it and you can put your stuff in. Now this is very simple, just 4 elbows, 2 T's, and you can measure out to whatever inch you like to make these actual pipes. It's all 1/2-inch PVC and fittings. You can have end caps if you want, but you don't have to. But that is just a great way that you can have hands-free loading up your bags. Now a table saw is a great tool to have in any kind of a workshop. Now, when you're working with it, sometimes you may have a special jig that works with it. In that case, you're going to need to take off your miter gauge. Well, if you take it and you put it down, there's always that chance of it getting knocked around, kicked around, possibly broken, or just lost for that matter, especially in my case. So, if you take a piece of 1-inch PVC and you can strap it to the bottom of your leg here, slide your gauge right there, and you never have to worry about losing it. If you're anything like me, you like to keep your shop clean, and so I have a bunch of different adapters that go in my vacuum. Well, there's always that chance I misplace them, and then I'm looking all around to find them. Here's a great way to store them on the wall. This is just a simple 1.5-inch PVC tee that I have drilled a hole through and have a screw going through the back, through another piece of wood so it spaces it out from the wall just a little bit. Now if by chance you're going to do this and you have a 2x4 that already goes up and down and you don't have anything around it, you don't have to use a spacer. All you need is that little extra room so that all your little accessories here can have a little bit of sliding space. But it's a great way to store your vacuum accessories. Now if you're working in a really limited space, you can always take some of your really long clamps and you can hang them from the ceiling. Now this is just a piece of PVC hanging just any way you'd like. I'm just using some zip ties and some nails, but you can secure it a lot more than this. Now if by chance you don't want to hang it from the ceiling, or your ceilings are just a little bit too high from the ground, you can always hang them underneath your bench here. Now this is just a simple way to do it. You can angle your PVC in any direction you like to give you the most amount of room so it doesn't get in the way of all your other stuff that you're trying to use and get to. But that's just a great way to store some of your long clamps. If you like to do some of your own car maintenance, this is a great idea for you. Now, this is all 1-inch PVC and fittings. I have some 45-degree elbows here and some T's, and just the rest of it, it's just regular 1-inch pipe. Now this is great if you do some car maintenance because you can take maybe like your oil drainage and you can throw it in the top there, and that way you don't have to worry about this dripping everywhere. Now to catch it, you can use maybe a bucket or some kind of old container, slide it in, and you want to make sure you attach this to something secure, maybe a 2x4, maybe your bench, or even a wall or some sort. Just make sure you have some kind of a spacer back behind it so that it pulls it out a little bit so you can easily have larger items. Now if you've ever used any kind of oil in your car, you know a lot of times there's residue left inside these, and you can easily store those in there, and it can drain that residue back into maybe your bucket, and you can even continue to use that oil maybe to fill it up if your car uses a little bit of oil. It's not much, but it's handy. So this is a great idea if you do a lot of your own car maintenance and you want to consider making one of these. Now I hope you enjoyed some of these ideas and you can use them in your daily lives. Now if you like this video, make sure you click the like button, tell us what you think about it in the comments, and as always, have fun building.